You're watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ghostfire Media here at Fuel Racing League. We're at Michigan International Speedway. I am your broadcaster tonight, and alongside with me is Josh Laston. Josh, man, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited to watch these guys go around Michigan. Michigan is one of my favorite tracks, and I love the speed. I love how big it is. I'm looking forward to seeing some great side-by-side action tonight. Speed, I love how big it is. I'm looking forward to seeing some... Did I lose you?
No, I'm here. I think they're going to qualifying.
Ah.
Yep, there we go. Yeah, so the stream just dropped because of or didn't drop. It just kind of froze because of it. So yeah, it's gonna be a blast tonight. We're gonna have a lot of different lines being ran. You got the bottom line, you got a middle line, and some people might be brave to try and run the wall. You know, the Kyle Larson or the Dale Jr. line up against the wall all night long to try to save and conserve tires. So it's gonna be great to be able to see that.
No, that's the biggest thing that I love about Michigan is you can be unbelievably aggressive, especially in these Xfinity cars that we're watching tonight. You have the ability to drop yourselves down all the way to that white line on the inside of the turns, or you can go full conserve, run about the middle groove, and be faster at the end. So it's going to be a balancing act with these guys tonight of, are we going to have short runs? Are we going to have green flag stops? The person that picks the right strategy to start the night is going to be fast later in the runs.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, these type of tracks, you want to have some teammates, and you can come in, shortchange it a little bit, by a few laps or so, depending on your fuel cycle, trying to make it to the end of the race. And you have to try to time it, and those extra laps are about 1 or 2 seconds a lap. So you get out there 2 to 3 laps before everybody else does, you're gaining 5 to 6 seconds on your competition. But at the end of the run, you might be just a tad bit slower. So you got to look out for that.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those just absolutely just... It's going to be a strategy race tonight. There's no way around it.
But it's going to be an absolute blast, though. It's not just one of those, I mean, Pocono is fun to race, but it becomes a strategy race sometimes if the fuel cycle, lines up with the race length, and you just start kind of racing towards that. I'm going to let off the gas a little bit sooner. I'm going to do this. Whereas I think all night tonight, we're going to be able to see action all the way around the track.
And I'm looking forward to it. These guys are already out there. We're watching Sean Carmody go around, and we haven't really got to see him running towards the front much in the Fuel League, but we are just going to sit here, run around, be fast, and I want to see if Sean has what he's been showing in the AOLL and move himself up.
Yeah, I mean, he sure he's got speed through all the other leagues that we broadcast for him, and finding the niche here. I mean, it's a whole different car than he's been driving, and he's trying to get used to. An AOL series he's running in. He's got to get used to the ARCA car. He's got to get used to his truck. Now he got thrust into the Cup series, and then so he's trying to run there. And now it's like, oh, here, try having 4 different cars every single week, and go for the Xfinity car. So now he's trying to learn this car. So as he goes
He
around.
puts a lot of time in, and honestly, it shows. You may not have completely figured this one out yet, but it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, it takes a lot. It's a little bit different car. As he comes across the line, that's good for 17th. Let's look over here at Justin Morton. Justin Morton's just starting his lap here. So he's coming around. So, they're not fully up to momentum on the first lap. They're still building up their speed. So the first lap is kind of a gimme lap. Getting the tires warm, trying to get up to speed the way we have to. Follow the yellow line underneath. Ooh, you get sideways there. Looks like, you get a little, you have to follow the yellow line all the way around on the apron instead of like the Cup cars can just immediately, or the Xfinity cars, when they did qualify, they could just immediately hop up on the banking and try to build up as much speed as possible from the get-go. So you're kind of lacking that here in these in iRacing.
Well, and the big thing that I'm going to be keeping an eye on tonight is we've talked a lot about the tires and a lot about some of that other stuff. We're talking 75 laps. My sources on the inside are saying it's going to be 40 to 45 laps on fuel, but I have a feeling that the tires are going to come more into play and cause people to pit rather than just the fuel.
So, I mean, if the inside sources are correct, I mean, that means you can short pit by just a couple of laps and still make it to the end if there's no caution. If we stay caution free tonight, that's your line. You got to come in, maybe 5 laps early.
But that's going to be the gamble that a lot of these guys are going to have to take, is the tires will fall off, the speeds will fall off, and tires are going to make such a massive difference in your lap times that may be a gamble worth taking.
Yeah, you got to figure it out. I mean, you got to have somebody with you, having a little bit of the draft and somebody pushing you, or you're riding behind somebody that has to help. You have to worry about that when you're out there doing pitting underneath green and short pitting, because being out there by yourself, I mean, you're giving up so much time to everybody else that's going to come in has more of a pack to come in and pit.
But we definitely are. This is one of the longest qualifying sessions that I think we're going to see all year with this league, because Michigan is a massive track. For a track that's not a super speedway, which it's darn close, because Michigan is halfway in between the intermediate and the super speedways at 2 miles long. You could go full throttle in these cars if you really wanted to, but again, we've talked about the tire wear. That's going to be huge. Right now, we're talking about a track temperature of 123 degrees, which is boiling for these good years.
Oh yeah, man. Track temperature is going to play a huge deal on how fast these tires fall off, and is going to have to play into how well these drivers are able to find the balance between the speed and tire savings. Who's going to be the one that kind of backs off early on the run, lets off the gas going in the corner to save that front right tire, so whenever you get near the end of the run, you still have a little life in it.
And that, again, those are going to be the gambles that I'm looking forward to seeing all the different strategies playing out tonight, because there's going to be so many different paths to victory tonight.
We got Cameron Hearn out there mowing the grass. It's kind of good to see.
That's more fitting for your John Deere truck that you're running on Wednesday nights.
Yeah, it's way more fitting. Should have had that on our fun race on Friday night. First lap, I decided, hey, let's go cut some lawn. So And that was
Hell,
fun.
it's even better in the Indy cars because they have that massive front wing that could sit there and throw the clippings up rather than just kind of plowing it like the Cup cars do.
But yeah, it's gonna be a fun night though. These guys, I feel that they're gonna be able to have the speed and competition to be able to run 2 to 3 wide here all night long and put on a great show for us, the viewers out there. So, who's out there watching right now, and who are you rooting for? Who do we have out there in the comment section? Like we had a big following last week for Braxton. Do we have any fans out there tonight? And who are you rooting for as we're waiting this 1 minute out for this qualifying session to end?
I have a feeling amongst our viewers, we probably still have some Braxton fans, and we've got Justin Anderson out there probably cheering on his Steel Horse Racing teammate of Joe Dinsmore. We got he may actually be rooting more for Carl Henderson or Blake Gordon tonight just because it's more entertaining, but I'm
Oh,
out here watching my teammate of Carl Henderson who's all alone,
yeah,
but on a track that I know he loves.
yeah. Justin said he'd love to see Carl or Joe have a great night. Yeah, and John Gordon says he's rooting for Carr, no Brendo, no Blake. So he
I
said,
think he's just out here for any of his teammates at Endeavor Racing. And there's the comment. Yep, he's here for the Endeavor guys. And you know what? It's always a reasonable bet, but qualifying has finished up.
so let's go and put our grid up here. So our Elwood poll goes to Alan Elwood. Go figure. This guy has gotten so many of his own awards. Number 2 tonight will be Cameron Hearn. Third is going to be Michael Stroll. Fourth is Thomas Bressie. Fifth is Blake Gordon. Sixth is Casey Shue. Seventh is Justin Morton. Eighth is Chad McKiss. There you go. Chad McKiss. Ninth is Will Roberts. And 10th is Hayden Pastoris.
All right, 11th, we have Tyler Hensley. 12th, Randy Bechtel. 13th is Carl Henderson. 14th is Brandon Bernhardt. 15th, Steve Rada. 16th, John Griven. 17th is Joe Dinsmore. 18th is Zach Edwards. 19th is Boomer Logan. 20th is Sean Carmody.
21st is Kyle Cooper. 22nd will be Eric Wineland. 23rd is Danny Ware. 24th is Travis McQuistion. 25th is going to be Gael Brooks. 26th is Chris Matthews. 27th is Brian Keita. 28th is Calvin Falarski. And rounding out the top 29 is Don Runkle Jr. So that's going to be your starting grid tonight.
All right, so we have someone saying that Cameron Hearn is throwing up his candidacy for president in 2024.
Yeah. So, it looks like we got somebody out there. Justin Anderson's going for Justin Morton. Has an awesome name, so he could win as well. I mean, he's been a threat out there every week. So yeah, you never can cut out Justin. We got Cameron Hearn, who's he's been strong on these mile and a halves. Can he get another win tonight? We got Michael Stroll starting up front. I mean, there's a lot of great cast and characters out here right now that could win any given night. So we'll have to see who's going to be able to have the best strategy though tonight. Who's going to be able to save their tires and come home the winner.
Yeah, this is 2 miles of fast-paced racing, and we only get 1 lap for these guys to form up. I'm sitting here watching the blimp. Oh, we've got some Domination Intimidation fans out there tonight too, and well, honestly, probably a good showing in qualifying for that team.
Yeah, these guys, I can't wait to see what happens. We're going to have teammates right there starting on the outside row. So we're going to see what they can do. Pace car is off. Alan Elwood leads them to the green flag here. And they're off. Alan Elwood gets a good start. Cameron Hearn is got a space between him and Michael, but he's going to stay on the outside right now. He chooses to kind of stay up there.
Well, and we were seeing the 13 of Blake Gordon trying to get on that low line, and that's definitely going to work for these guys before they're fully up to speed coming through 3 and 4. We'll see if Blake manages to get himself up into 4th before the turn, and it looks like he's going to have to back off.
Yeah, I mean, the great part is you get a great lunge out of 1 and 2. The hard part is if you're stuck on the bottom, nobody's there underneath to give you that draft down the back straightaway. The draft is key here for the momentum that you build to keep up the speed around this track. Without a drafting partner, you get left there, as you see Thomas pushing and drafting hard with Michael Stroll there going on the front stretch.
And he gets a massive jump from that. It looked like Blake Gordon may have been able to get the pass done, but Michael Stroll is coming up real strong, and Blake Gordon's going to slot himself back into 4th.
Yeah, everybody else right now looks to be in a straight line here. We got about 2 different packs here. If you look at the track map here, you'll see that there's the number 70 on the leading the second charge right there. It's got about a second or so of gap in between these guys. So we got 2 packs formed already.
And yeah, the 70 has backed off. That's Brandon Bernhardt, and Carl Henderson is the car in front of him. And those two are no stranger to racing each other on Thursday nights with the AOL TNT series. But I've got a dead lock on Blake Gordon getting right onto the bumper of Michael Stroll.
Yeah, he's there, and we got Justin Morton. He's pulled out right there. Get underneath Casey Shue.
And these are the kind of gambles that I've been expecting to see. Some guys going to go ahead and throw tire wear out the window right now, jockey for position, and then worry about the repercussions later.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 different strategies here. You save from the beginning and work as hard as you can to get to the front, and hopefully, you get a caution so you can get some fresh tires, or you kind of try to take it easy and hopefully there is no caution, and you kind of work your way back up to the front after everybody's tires kind of fall off, and hopefully you saved enough to make that sacrifice of falling backwards work.
And honestly, I think everybody's just trying to feel things out right now, get themselves into the right position. Michigan's not really going to be known for cautions because it does eventually become a single groove. But the fact that we're seeing some side-by-side right now is making me happy.
I want to give a shout out to my daughter. She's out there watching them. She said, "Hey, broski." So she said, I've always told her to get out there and comment. And she's like, "No, I'm embarrassed, Dad. Don't do that." And now I'm embarrassing her. So she'll never do that.
Out.
So it was Chris Matthews. So I think this is part of the second pack. Oh, it looks like he just tags the outside wall there. We'll have to get a little bit different of a view here. Let's go to the blimp view here. And I believe
they're running 3 wide. He gets a great run.
Oh, he gets in the 73, pushes them sideways. I think once they got locked there, he just couldn't get unlocked, and it just shoves them to the outside wall right there.
Yeah, the speeds that you're having, especially coming out of these corners, if you're not prepared to hold that line, you're going so fast.
Ooh, and I mean, that's right in front of Joe Dinsmore right there. The other car.
Just an unlucky bystander.
Yeah. The 00 and the number 2.
There's a chance he's going to be the only person that really ends up walking away with any kind of massive front end damage, and Arrow is going to be huge tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. They're going to have to go in and get a repair. I want to see if anybody comes in there. Who makes the first daring move? I mean, maybe just for fuel. Does anybody come down pit road?
I'm surprised that we are seeing so few making this.
There's a few
down.
There's a few in the back. Quite a few in the back that have come in. Looks like We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people in the back coming. I know, Joe's one of them that came in due to the contact, and probably
And
2 other ones that came in.
honestly, knowing that no one else is coming in, I'm surprised to not see half the field.
All right. Well, let's go to.
For me, I'm going in.
Yeah. All right. While they are under caution here, let's go to a commercial break.
Sounds good.
And we're back. These guys are lined up 2 by 2 here. They just took over the flag here. 1 lap to go.
And we're back to 2 by 2. Everyone's back out on the track, including everyone that came in or ended up involved in that incident. And so I'm surprised to see there's not nearly as much damage as I would anticipate. They definitely will not be fast if they're at the front. But in a draft, like Joe Dinsmore, who basically clobbered someone with his front end, doesn't have enough damage where I think he's going to be impacted unless he manages to get himself to the front.
Yeah, I mean, being the draft in the back, you're not going to be out front, so you're not going to be in clean air. You'll be in dirty air. So I think everything's going to be fine with them.
So I'm excited at side by side and seeing how everything shakes up. But with Alan Elwood leading us here, he gets to go whenever.
And he's off. He gets a good early jump right there. He takes off. Cameron Hearn looks like he was trying to dive down behind him, but we have Michael Stroll who got a really great run. So Allen jumps to the top side right now to pull his teammate up. Michael Stroll will drop in line behind him. I think he wanted to drop down low, but he's not on fresh tires. So it's hard to hit that low line there on that build-up. Blake Gordon's trying to shut the door coming in down the back straightaway. We got some people still running 2 by 2. Blake Gordon steps out. Michael Stroll blocks it. Blake's going to move back up high, try to get a little bit more momentum coming out of turn 3.
Well, and he did the exact right thing. He faked the low line to get Michael Stroll to block him. And as soon as he comes down, goes back up because there was not enough room between him and Cameron Hearn for Michael Stroll to get back up onto that top line. And my guess is Michael Stroll is a bit of a sitting duck right now.
Yeah, I mean, he got him down to the low line, so now Blake is in the preferred line of the draft, and Michael Stroll's going to start dropping back. He's going to have to slice in front of Thomas Bressie, and he does. So now he loses 1 position there on this restart.
And we're back to pretty much having 2 different packs once again. And the back pack, it looks like the biggest issue that they're having is we've got some side-by-side racing at the front of it, and they need to get formed up almost like a super speedway in a single file line to get everyone back up into that lead pack.
Yeah, so the number 19 right now of Danny Ware's, back there running side-by-side with 03. So, with Steve Rada, and he just needs to kind of all form a pack and get the push. I mean, think of it as a Talladega or Daytona. You can't lose that main pack for that draft.
And they're about a second back at this point, so they've pretty much lost the touch of the draft that they need to get themselves back up. And it looks like this front pack's getting racy again, to where we're seeing side-by-side action. Michael Stroll is trying to get around Blake Gordon, get himself back up into third.
Yeah, he's fighting pretty hard right now, trying to get up there and be in front. You're just gonna wear your tires out, though. I mean, honestly, you're out there doing it. He does get the pass done in the middle of the corner there. You drop down low enough, you can cut the momentum there. You get a horrible exit. You lose so much speed by dropping down with a little bit older tires, but you're able to pull that thing called the slide job and slide up in front of the guy. And if he doesn't have enough momentum to blow your doors off, he'll just stick right behind you, and you overtake that position.
And we're starting to see Thomas Bresci giving Blake Gordon a bit of a nudge to try to get both of them back up there as he backs off ever so slightly. But Alan Elwood and Cameron Hearn are starting to gap the rest of this field while they're fighting.
Yeah, we got Justin Morton sticking out right now. He's dropping down to the low line, trying to pick up a position right now. Trying to get past Casey Shute at number 4. But he has number 25 of Chad McKiss there, and he's going to lose spots to them. He has no drafting partners unless Casey Shute kind of drops down just a little bit. Looks like it gives him a little bit of drafting.
But definitely that's not enough to really be able to help you. Just getting a third of a car isn't gonna get you, but right now we're just seeing one car drop all the way down, and the fastest line here at Michigan is to get almost all the way to that grass. We're seeing those top 5 cars do it, but just not enough to where we're seeing the 11 of Justin Morton ending up getting dropped a little bit. He's going to get some help from Casey Shute right now.
But I mean, Justin Morton, he's doing everything he can. Previous laps, he drops down on the apron right there, trying to make the track as short as possible to gain any and all advantage he can for running that low line. But he's burning his tires up left and right. He can't just give up the spot fight now because Will Roberts right there in the number 3 is in his way, so he can't just fill a gap right behind him. If he gives this fight up, he's moving back 3 spots. And
if we move up a little bit, we have Thomas Bresci trying to get down below Blake Gordon to take over 4th position. And they've lost the sniff of the draft with this little bit of fighting that they have going on here. And the top 3 are slowly pulling away.
Yeah, they got to work together. That's what I would do. I mean, you hope that you see that the people behind you are kind of getting smaller in your mirror and you work. And Blake Gordon almost, he might have scraped the outside wall there coming out of turn 2. He got a little bit loose there, and Thomas Bresci gets by him.
That little bit of a slowdown is giving that second pack where Casey Shute is close enough to be able to get a sniff of the draft, should be able to close things down without too much of an issue, and bring that next pack along with it.
Yeah, I mean, they're spreading out pretty thin here. I mean, you're having a 2-car pack behind the first 3, so you got 3, then a 2-car pack. And then Casey Shute's kind of bring these guys on. They're still been fighting like crazy. Justin Morton finally gets by everybody here. We got number 25. Chad was just bump draft and wheel down the front straight away. But the 44 of Tyler Hensley, he's trying to make some gains right now. He drops down below. Chad gets his spot. Now he's trying to take over wheels and does not bode well for them to catch back up. And you see in the background, Eric Wineland, he's the leader of the next pack. and they're trying to catch this pack. So there's a lot of small pack racing here.
And with this, it seems like that third pack seems to be the most formed. They're 5 in a line.
As we say, that 93 of Travis McQuiston starts taking on Hayden Pastoris.
Of course, that's exactly what ends up happening as I'm saying something. But even with the speed that that pack has, now that we're starting to see a little bit of side-by-side action just in front of them, that's going to give 2 lines a sniff of the draft, and that's going to make it to where these guys can close things in. But that's not going to be enough for the whole group to catch our leaders, because third place is a full second in front of fourth right now.
Yeah, let's ride on board with Danny Ware. He's in the thick of things. Is that better?
Yes, that makes me happier. But still, we can see that these guys, they've got so many bumpers in their way. But with what we're seeing from Danny Ware, he's probably in the exact right position. He's given them a little bit of space. He still has the draft. He's not going to be using nearly as much as he goes for a move down the inside. But Hayden Pastoris is just not letting that happen.
Yeah, Hayden's running a little bit higher line. He was able to get back on the throttle a little bit before Danny would. Danny kind of drove it in a little bit deeper than Hayden Pastoris did. Yeah, I know Justin phrasing, but you got to modulate your throttle and your how you're getting in the corners. You don't want to burn the tires. Danny's got a really good draft here, so he's got to take advantage of that while he can.
And while we did end up having a few caution laps and very few people ended up going in for fuel, we're probably about 10 laps away from the pit window opening for fuel specifically to make it to the end of this race. Again, I'm really curious how many guys are going to start making their way in for tires a little bit.
So we see that Justin Morton got past the 4 of Casey Shue here, and it's kind of brought the whole entire package. These 2 packs, they are combined now. They're all one gigantic pack right now. There's a few stragglers in between.
And what I'm looking at right now is, again, those front 3 of Alan Elwood, Michael Stroll, and Cameron Hearn, they're just off.
Yeah, they got about a 2-second gap there between the 3rd place of Cameron Hearn and the 4th place of Thomas Bressie.
And that's great for them. And then we're also looking at close to a second, well, a little less than a second of between 4th and 5th with Blake Gordon. They're just kind of on their own. They've got a train coming to catch them, and they're, well, not perfectly lined up like you'd expect on a super speedway, but that many cars that deep, they're going to catch them.
Yeah,
without question.
And then you see Carl Henderson. He's trying to sniff the draft back there. Guile Brooks is the last one on that pack. And then you got Carl Henderson trying to sneak in there.
And Carl back in 17. I think that's going to spell doom for him, because we do see one car break itself out, drop down low, and that's Will Roberts, who gets a pass done, but he's trying to pull himself up a little bit farther in that pack, and now they've left someone out to dry.
Yeah, the number 44 right now is trying to step out and get past him. I think it's Tyler Hensley.
And he's got that done to where he's going to be at the front of this pack, and he's going to try to make his way up to Justin Morton, who's about a second ahead. And if I'm any of these guys, I'm not worried about the track position of the guys I'm around. I want to be moving my way forward and get up directly behind Justin Morton.
Yeah, these guys are catching. Thomas Bressy's right there, but then it's a huge play back to where Blake Gordon is. Justin Morton caught up to Blake, and now they're pushing, trying to catch up to Thomas Bressy, who's sitting in the fourth.
And we're starting to see a little bit of scrapping going on as these guys are hitting the front stretch. Those guys that are dropping low, yeah, they're cutting a little bit of the distance around this track, but at 27 lap old tires and caution, that's a bold move.
Yeah, you have to really let off the gas, because if not, you're going to be pushing up, and then, you know, you got people right on the outside of you. You're trying to pass, so you got to play the throttle game and try to time it just right to get back into it. But if you get it back into it a little bit too soon, you're getting pushed up and you're going to wash up into somebody.
And what we're seeing is those guys who tried to make that move on the low line, they ended up cycling to the back of the pack. As we're seeing Travis McQuiston and Hayden Pastoris swapping positions, going through 1 and 2, and that's just not going to be sustainable on these tires.
Yeah, I mean, we have another move up here. We got Justin Morton taking over for Blake Gordon. He was able to come up. They were drafting together trying to catch Thomas, but Justin Morton was able to get by him. So now Blake is now trying to play the catch-up game. And we see Eric Wineland. Eric Wineland come to the point. He was the leader of basically the third pack probably about 10 laps ago. Now he's made his way all the way up to 7th spot there. Now he's trying to chase these guys down and get past them.
As we're starting to see a little bit more of side-by-side action with Chad and Tyler Hensley. And right now, Chad's just trying to slot himself in. Can't really find the space. I guarantee his spotter is telling him not to move up. But that low line for him right now, it's trying to work. But yeah, those are the kinds of moments that are going to scare the pants off of you. Hopefully you're wearing the brown pants today.
Oh, I always got to wear the brown pants. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't a slide job move. It just was a slide job that just happened. And, you know, that's what happens when you run that bottom line. You just push up. And Hayden Pastoris kind of cuts on a huge break there. Danny Ware didn't like that. He looks to the inside, but he just has no momentum after that. And he's got to back off here and kind of fall back in line. If I'm Danny...
We were seeing Will Roberts at the very back of this pack trying to get himself down and around Guile Brooks, but it's just not happening. Because that low line, you have to lay off so much to be able to make it work that you just do not have the run out of the corners, even if you have a great draft.
Look at Guile just, you know, hates leaving him. I think Will just also stumbles there coming out of the corner and had to really get out of the throttle. But I mean, this is a great camera view to kind of see what the momentum the top line has. You know, who has the momentum at what point in the track in these corners.
And especially on the front stretch, if you have a partner to drop all the way down to the bottom, it's perfection. As we are sitting there looking at Travis McQuiston just giving the massive push to Randy Bechtel, and that's what you need to do, is you need to link up with someone on the fast parts of this track and then just get them.
Look who's made it up to Blake Gordon. Eric Wineland, that number 22, has saved some tires. Now he's coming up side by side with Blake Gordon. Blake Gordon is sideways there. He was able to catch that slide. That's some great car craft right there. And Eric Wineland, I think it's going to be able to get past him. He's not going to slide up just yet. I think the momentum of what Blake had just was able to prevail right there at the end where he couldn't make the slide job work. but he's
I'm
pushing hard.
listening to the race chat, and there was a few sorries thrown out there to where I don't think that was intentional, but Blake may have been a little bit scared by the car coming up on him.
Yeah, it looks like he was pushing it a little bit too hard, and Blake was starting to go up a little bit higher and higher. That's the thing that happens. We got 34 lap old tires here, and these guys are trying to make passes that they think they have about 10 lap old tires on, because they know the laps are winding down before they get the fresh tires, and they need to make up every spot they can.
And we've got 42 laps to go at this point, and a lot of these guys are praying for that pit window to really open up. Hopefully only have to come in, get 4 new tires, get the full fuel, and if you run it dry, you should be good for green-white checkers, but we've only had the one caution, so I really wouldn't be planning on there being any major incidents. So you've got to try to make it.
Yeah, these guys are going to have to do a lot of tire savings for this last run if you want to be competitive at the end of the race. We're seeing so much fall off here right now. Their best times were 39.72s, and they're running almost 42-second laps here. So, these guys are really going to have to play some tire savings. I wonder if,
we're starting to hear calls of people looking to get into the pits. And as I'm saying that, one thing that I'm amazed and we haven't seen, if we move forward, Thomas Baresi has caught that front pack. And we're talking about it being 4 deep at this point after what seemed to be close to insurmountable. He's managed to save and get himself back up to this front group.
So, the good benefit sometimes running out there by yourself is you don't have that arrow push that you get with the draft. Whenever you're in the draft, you pick up that extra 2 or 3, maybe 4 miles per hour down the front and back stretch, and that pushes you in the corner at a different angle, at a different speed, and wears out your tires faster. So these front 3 have been nose to tail this whole entire time, whereas Thomas wasn't. So he's able probably to save. So now his lap times are coming around or staying steady too, and the front 3's lap times are falling off because of the extra tire wear.
Well, he's about equal with the 2 cars in front of him, only off by hundredths of a second. But we just had 4 people dive into the pits. And these guys, we may have ended up having a speeding on pit lane with Kyle Cooper because he's been in his pit stall for a lot longer than I would anticipate.
Yeah, and we got Casey Shue. He's in there. He's got a 14.73 pit stop. We got Chris Matthews. I think his last one he did was under the last caution of minute 14.
But Guile Brooks was one of those takers on the original pit stop under caution. He's up 15 places. He had some connection issues, which made it to where he couldn't qualify. But these guys, we've only seen 7 people take their pits already, and that's a little bit before half distance. We're only there now. So I'm looking to see what their lap times are in comparison to everyone else on their first full lap out of the pits.
So we have the last one was a 39.96 from Justin Morton. So Justin Morton was one of the first ones to kind of dive it down in there. And as you see him right now, slicing through the leaders right now. And 03's in the wall right there. He slaps the wall. So Thomas Baresi and Michael Stroll, they are in. Cameron Hearn and Alan Elwood stay out. Cameron Hearn has been separated from Alan Elwood now. Justin Morton is flying through the pack right now. I'm going to say that he might come out being the race leader after this, because he was making up a lot of spots there at the end right before he pitted. He shortchanged this pit stop, and I believe he might be able to come out the leader after this pit cycle.
And we're we're talking 2 laps or 2 seconds a lap faster on fresh tires on this track. So you can make up some serious time, and if you only have 1 lap older tires, you're not going to see that big of an advantage.
Yeah.
So short pitting these for some of these guys, it's going to be a strategic advantage.
So we
But
just
also, you look at Alan Elwood. If I'm in his position, just stay out.
Yeah, I mean, you have to give some type of a heat cycle in between the people that you're out there. Justin Borton went in early. Michael Stroll and them, they went about a lap and a half ago. You see Michael Stroll coming out on the track right now behind Alan Elwood. He's about a half a corner back. That's how much distance Alan Elwood does come in this lap. So we're going to pay attention to Eric Wineland. He's going to take over the race lead. But Michael Stroll is sitting well behind Justin Morton. So he was able to basically leapfrog Michael Stroll by about 3 seconds or so.
And again, I love races like this because we're going to see the leaders ultimately are going to be the ones that hold the right strategy. We're also going to see, as we look at the map, this is going to break it up to where we're not necessarily going to have a distinct pack. We're going to see 2 3-car packs throughout the track.
Yeah, so far, it's going to be strung out. I mean, there's so many people on different pit stop strategies. How well did they get in the pit road? How well did they get off of pit road? Who maintained the pit road speed all the way down? A lot of people, feather the throttle and not, they're hesitant to run the actual speed limit. They run 1, maybe 2 mile an hour slower. And this is a long pit road here at Michigan. So, every little bit of second counts of getting on the pit road and getting off a pit road.
And some people enter very slowly and make other people have to lock up their brakes occasionally.
I mean, I was already past the yellow line when you were sliding and hit me, so I don't want to hear it. As we got 3 people diving in, we got Eric Wineland, the 39 of Randy Bechtel, and 71 of Gael Brooks. They're all diving the pit road right now.
And I am a fan of the undercut on a track like this as we watch Blake Gordon just go blazing past Will Roberts, who still has not made his way in. Or no, he has made his way in. And that, right now, the only people... No, Will Roberts has not pit.
No, he has not.
He's the lead of this race. John Griven, Cal Filarski, and
there we go.
Those last 2 pitted under caution and most likely just grabbed fuel, a little bit of repairs. That's about it.
Yeah, they're going to run the tank dry. They're going to have fresh tires at the end. So if this goes caution free at the end, the people who stayed out later, they're burning up the tires, but they'll have the freshest tires at the end of the race, where they can actually really push. Whereas everybody else will be kind of skating on ice.
As Will Roberts actually drops in from the lead.
Yeah, we got John Gravon. He's out on the lead right now. He looks like he's slowing down, so he passes the lead off to Calvin Filarski. So Calvin Filarski in this number 2. Normally you see him in his, I call it the Joker car, but tonight he's in a totally different car. I love the paint scheme. I'm always a big fan of the orange paint schemes that these guys bring. It's one of my favorite colors. So this is a great paint job in my opinion.
And he's going to get the bonus points for this. And at the end of the day, that's probably going to help him. Cal has had some issues throughout the season that have dropped him farther and farther down.
So he's going in the pits. Next up, it's going to be Joe Dinsmore. He's going to stay out. He's going to lead a lap.
And he has the fuel to do it because he did get fuel when he came in back on lap 6. So that's going to be a bonus point or 2 for him.
So, Justin asked, did Blake get a speeding on pit road? He usually makes up a ton of time on entry and exit. It shows that his pit stop was 24 seconds. So maybe that brush with the outside wall where he might have got a little bit of damage, and he figured this is his only time to make it up worth it, is to sit there and try to get it fixed. So I'm not 100% sure, but looks like Joe Dinsmore is going to pit right now from the lead. Thomas Bressie takes over the lead, actually. Justin Morton.
That's not surprising because he came in 2 laps earlier than Alan Elwood. But Alan Elwood is right on his tail. He's only about a half a second back.
Well, let's see if, Thomas can save his tires and conserve, because that's what he did this last time and was able to catch that front pack.
And I don't see why that's not going to be what ends up happening for him, because he's running in that clean air. Alan Elwood is catching him ever so slightly, but at this point, with either 9 or 7 laps on the tires, they've equalized a reasonable amount for these guys, so they're not going to be all that much of an advantage.
So we see Cameron Hearn slicing up just a little bit before a corner entry right there on Justin Morton. Cameron Hearn is going to take over that spot. So his little bit of a lead for undercutting was short-lived right now. Alan Elwood, Michael Stroll, Cameron Hearn, and Thomas Bressie were all able to get by him. So Justin Morton's now, I believe, would have to go into tire savings mode. Kind of start backing off the corners just a little bit for a late race charge. We got 26 laps to go.
Not just tire savings. He may have to do a little bit of fuel saving, because we didn't see anyone that go more than 41 laps.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he finishes off. Maybe he cut it right there on the end. So we see Alan Elwood catch to the back bumper here almost to Thomas Bressie. Catching somebody and passing somebody here is 2 different things. There's so many different lines, and with no drafting help back there with Alan Elwood, he's got to do this all by himself. So can he do it?
I don't think that it's going to be, in the long run, a problem. Because while I have said that they've pretty much equalized, that's more in terms of lap time.
Ooh, I think he smacked the wall right there.
The only thing I can figure out just happened. But that's also giving Alan Elwood that low line. And with those 2-lap fresher tires, he has a little bit of rubber to spare to try to make that low line work.
And he does. He is able to get back by him, retake the lead that he's had for basically the whole entire race here, except for through this pit stops here. So he's going to be able to start from the pole and return back to the lead.
And with 24 laps to go, the pit cycles have definitely created a lot more gaps. And honestly, the battle for the lead is easily the most interesting thing that we have out on track, except for possibly
Kyle Brooks.
I was going to say the 2 Endeavor cars. Blake Gordon is trying to hold off Sean Carmody for 15th place, and they are right there. And Sean Carmody has 1 lap fresher of tires, and I doubt that there's going to be that much of a difference, with the exception of the fact that Sean has the draft.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I would work together. I wouldn't be trying to get by him. Use your fresher tires to stay behind Blake and give him the arrow push whenever needed. It's trying to catch up to the pack. Trying to work here against each other on teammates. It'd be pretty bad thing to do right now. I'm going to jump up here to Chad. They've got a really good battle right here.
I was going to say, that and Eric Wineland also just made an amazing pass. I'm watching it on the other side here. But Eric Wineland and Danny Ware are also duking it out, but this one right here, 3 wide, as we're starting to see the 71 of Kyle Brooks join the fray, get a little close there for comfort.
Yeah,
As we see both of them separate as quickly as they possibly can, but Kyle has that low line making it work and gets the pass done.
yeah, he was able to get down there low, get past Chad, and now he's setting a sight for the number 39 of Randy Bechtel. So we're gonna have to, pay attention to this fight. Let's go try to look up here.
The battle for 15th is actually heating up to where Will Roberts has gotten himself down below Blake Gordon while him and his teammate were fighting. And now Will is on that low line and Blake Gordon's trying to make the midline work. He should be able to get a great run here since no one really has a draft except for Sean, who's kind of out of the picture at this point.
Yeah, they're battling pretty hard right now, and maybe this will help Blake in the long run. He'll be able to draft off of number 3 here if he does have any other damage out there. That could be just iRacing physics models not allowing him to kind of have pace here. Maybe Will Roberts can kind of drag him around the track here. He can draft off of him and then have Sean Carmody behind him, kind of giving him the boost from behind.
And that's where the in-race chat with your teammates should come into play, but they're dropping into a single line trying to get caught up. But up towards the front, if you go to Travis McQuiston and Justin, or no, that's
Tyler Hensley.
Tyler Hensley. These two have been battling for about a lap, and we've got them coming close to being bumper to bumper.
Yeah, right now, for everybody who's wondering, up the front, Alan Elwood's kind of pulled away from Thomas Bresci as of right now. He's got about a 1 second gap in between them. So we're going to focus in and try to find the other battles throughout the race here. There's lots of battles going on. So we're trying to look out there and see which ones to kind of present to you. We still got Blake Gordon, Sean Carmody. They're very close, but I believe they're just working. We got Brandon Bernhardt, though. This looks to be a good battle. We got the
Yeah, this one, we've got 4 cars here, and
yeah, that's a badly damaged car.
Doesn't matter.
Chris
Still
Matthews.
4 cars.
Yeah, Chris Matthews is out there just kind of running his race. He's kind of got basically flat-sided after that wreck there. So he's just out there running his race. But the 33 of John Gravon, he's out there. He's trying to overtake Brandon Bernhardt right now. And this is a battle for 21st.
And Brandon's doing the smart thing there. John is wanting to drop all the way down in the turns. Brandon's doing the right move, keeping it right up against the wall to where he's going to have an amazing amount of speed coming out of those turns and make it to just essentially negate anything that he's getting from that shorter line.
Yeah, I mean, the advantage of running up top like that, I mean, you're barely out of the throttle compared to the person down below. The guy down below is going to have to really get out of the throttle where you can kind of stay in there the whole entire time. We'll see if Brandon does a crossover move here. Does he just stay behind him? He thought about it, and he just stuck right back behind him.
And with 16 laps to go, it's the right move. Try to keep yourself in touching distance. Brandon has done a great job of keeping his line to keep the tires nice, cool, and from wearing. But he'll take the battle to him. So.
We see Eric Wineland falling back. Travis McQuistion's able to get by him. And then Tyler Hensley's coming up right now. He's coming up into this battle.
And we're starting to see packs forming up again. It's not nearly as spread out as it was, where we're seeing those guys that had just that little bit of draft make their way back to the person in front of them. People forming up, getting themselves moved forward, closing things up. Because in the last, I would say, 3 laps is where we're going to start to see some really daring moves.
There's going to be a lot of slide jobs going on here. You know, if they can get to the back bumper, they're going to drop it down low, try to hit that center apex as low as possible, and then get back on the gas and hopefully somewhat clear the guy in front of them and throw it up there and slide it in and see if it sticks. You know, we might see some video game moves.
The outside wall is probably going to see quite a bit of action in those last few laps.
Yeah,
we're lucky that Michigan has the safer barriers all the way.
Yeah, what was it? We had I don't. It wasn't Michigan. It was at Atlanta. We had I think it was Carl Edwards who was trying to overtake Jimmy Johnson, and he just drove it down to the bottom and just held a foot to the floor and slid up and slammed the outside wall and gave it everything he had. Did not win the race whatsoever, but it was his last-ditch effort to try and get a win.
Well, we're starting to see a battle for 10th right now with Randy Bechtel, Hayden Pistorius, and Kyle Brooks. These guys are all within a half a second of each other, and that gap has been just closing. And with the 3 of them pulled together, if they don't try anything fancy, they may actually be able to get up to 9th place, where Danny Ware is slowly losing steam, and they are closing that gap.
Yeah, the number 19 of Danny Ware is trying to get out there, but you have Randy Bechtel out front. He's sniffing your draft, and he's got Hayden Pistorius behind him, giving him an arrow push that he's getting from Kyle Brooks, and Kyle Brooks is getting lower than all 3 of these guys right now. He's able to drop it down so low and not really lose as much momentum as everybody else.
No, and that's what they need to do. They need to start working together, because if they don't, once they can actually catch Danny Ware, those guys, as a group, we can start to see things closing down. But it looks like if we go up for the battle for 5th, Justin Morton is ready to pounce on Cameron Hearn.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, you know, this is a time to kick it in gear. You've kind of saved, hopefully you sat back and kind of saved your tires a little bit, backed off the corners here and there, saved that front right tire. So now's the time to start building your momentum back and testing out and see what your car can and cannot do. Hayden Pistorius is trying to catch him. Eric Wineland's right there. So Tyler Hensley's kind of falling back there.
I think you're talking 2 positions back. That's Justin Morton, Travis McQuiston, and Eric Wineland.
Eric Wineland. So sorry, I mixed up Danny Ware and Eric Wineland. Yeah, so, you know, we got Eric Wineland right there. You know, he's charging through the pack right now. He's caught up to Travis McQuiston, who's on the heels of Justin Morton. And
need to bring out that right now Travis McQuiston is going to be the hard charger. He is up 18 positions right now.
As long as he can stay there.
To add the 19.
If he can stay there, that's what's going to happen. The next one that's closest to it is the guy right behind him, Eric Wineland. He's up 15 spots.
And this is turning into a very good battle. As, again, if we look at the track map, we're starting to see distinct packs forming up once again. But this group of 3, if they have any hope of getting up towards Cameron Hearn or Michael Stroll and that front group,
I mean, they got a 5-second gap right now. In 8 laps, you're not covering that 5-second gap. What can happen, though, is Thomas Bresci and Alan Elwood. If Michael Stroll comes up and they're able to do something, because you got Cameron Hearn, Michael Stroll, and Thomas Bresci all lined up right there down the back straightaway. If they could do it, they can catch up. Right now, Thomas Bresci's running just a little bit faster than Alan Elwood is. Oh, somebody just smacked the wall. I heard it.
That looks. Is that?
I didn't get any incident, but we definitely heard it. Is that number 92 again? Of Chris Matthews? I know he was around there.
Yes, it was. That was Chris Matthews. Unfortunately, I'm looking at the blimp, and there's part of me that thought that was Blake Gordon, just because it's a red car.
Yeah, I thought it was either him or Joe that's sitting there. And it didn't register of anybody hitting the wall or crashing. So I just know that they were there, and he was probably riding the high side, trying to get out of the way of everybody there in the middle of the corner. Might have just went a little bit too high, trying to carry his momentum, but get out of the way of the leaders.
And right now we have Travis McQuiston, or Eric Wineland and Justin Morton side by side, basically dooring one another going into turn 1.
Oh man,
and those two right now. If we're going to end up having a caution, it's coming from these two. I'm keeping it clean.
I'm just hoping the net code gods are on those guys' sides. The way they're flirting with the disaster right there.
And the speed that they're going, they're even testing those net code gods even more.
Eric Wineland, though, is going to clear him. He's going to do that slide job, get up in front of him, coming off the corner. Now Eric needs to draft off that 92. We got 5 laps to go.
With 5 laps to go, I think this is going to be Alan Elwood's to lose. But with a 1 1/4 second interval, he's safe.
Yeah,
it's going to be Thomas Baresi trying to hold off Michael Stroll and only roughly a second. But oh wait, no, that's Cameron Hearn who has caught Michael Stroll, and Cameron's going to be looking for that final podium position.
Yeah, we got.
I'm him. Bide my time for another lap or two, maybe, then start taking the front. Just make sure you were close enough to really make it.
And he needs Joe Dinsmore right there, that number 95. He needs him to come up behind him and give him a good push and follow him if he wants to do anything. That'd be the greatest thing that in the world for Cameron Hearn right now, is to have this lap traffic of Joe Dinsmore actually help him out and give him a drafting partner.
The problem that's going to happen there is Joe Dinsmore is running with damage, so there's a reasonable chance that the arrow, that's all the closer that Joe's going to be capable of getting to him because of that arrow speed differential.
I think Joe's just sitting there hoping for a caution to come out. He's a lucky dog candidate if it does. I mean, he's the first one to lap down. He's been hanging there lap after lap, so I don't know if he might just be biding his time and doesn't want to get in this traffic right now and trying to dice it out with him to get his lap back. It's not that important in fighting with the lap leaders.
Well, we're coming to 2 to go, so right now that's not the kind of thing you can bank on. And I am that kind of guy that I'm going to realize that somebody is battling there. I don't care if it's not a teammate. I'm going to be up there on their bumper, trying to at least make it interesting for us in the broadcast booth, trying to make for some entertainment. But Michael Stroll, he is right there. He has that draft from Thomas Baresi as we're coming to the white
He was
flag.
actually 0.3 of a second faster on this last lap. So let's see what he looks like here. He's still got a long distance to go to try to catch him here as we're 1 to go.
But we have hit that last lap, and I like to believe that that is close enough to be able to get up on this kind of a track. But these guys have such old tires that you can't be all that aggressive. If I'm Michael Stroll, I'm just going to slot in, take my podium, and walk away.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're focusing on Alan Elwood, who has 2 turns left, and he's going to get another win this season. He started on the pole, he led the most laps, and now he's coming across the start-finish line to get the most important lap, the final lap. Checker flag is out.
and it's just been a clinic. There's not really been many opportunities for us to really
Oh,
talk
Hayden
about.
Pastoris making
Hey,
it easy, dicey coming to the finish line there.
hey, you. At this point, the car's done anyway. Take the chance.
Yeah, I mean, that one spot could be all it takes as we see Calvin Pilarski going through the grass, trying to do whatever he can. He drafted off of him as far as he could, and it's just drove it through the grass.
And take as much out of that track as you can. At that point, you're not going to get any acceleration. The grass isn't going to make any big of a difference.
All right.
Just go ahead and try to get that last position.
Let's go ahead and pull up our race results here as Alan Elwood is going to go and do a burnout. Let me switch the camera to him while he does it. So our race leader who started on the pole, got the Elwood Pole Award, will win the race. Thomas Bressie will come in second, Michael Stroll in third, Cameron Hearn in fourth. Fifth will be Travis McQuiston. Sixth is Eric Wineland. Seventh is Randy Bechtel. Eighth is Tyler Hensley. Ninth is Justin Morton. And rounding out the top 10 is Danny Ware.
All right, 11th was Hayden Pastoris. 12th is Gael Brooks. 13th is Chad. At this point, he's just
Micus.
Chad. I know it's Micus, but he's Chad. 14th is Will Roberts. 15th is Sean Carmody. 16th is Blake Gordon. 17th is Casey Shue. 18th is Boomer Logan. 19th is Cal Filarski. And 20th is Brandon Bernhardt.
21st is going to be John Gravon. 22nd is Carl Henderson. 23rd will be Don Runkle Jr. 24th coming home is Joe Dinsmore. 25th is Kyle Cooper. 26th is Zach Edwards. 27th is Chris Matthews. 28th is Steve Rada. And rounding out the final position tonight will be Brian Kita.
All right, I think it's another night of getting to talk to Alan Elwood. So let's go ahead and get him up into the booth. And apparently I can't do that because it's scrolling too far because there are a lot of people in this. I may be able to do it.
I got it.
Okay. Yep.
Hey, Alan. Man, congratulations on your win, man. How does it feel starting on the pole and basically dominating the race here?
Oh, it feels great. Finally get another win on the board. I know it's only been 3 weeks or something like that, but just getting close to the finals time and trying to build momentum and notch some good finishes. We've done that lately, and tonight continue that. And what more can you ask for than to be on top?
I got you, man. We're up here in the booth thinking it's rigged. You keep winning all these pole awards that you sponsor, so we're thinking this is rigged, man. How are you doing it?
Simple. I just want my money back. I mean, what more incentive do you need than money? But no. Just like tonight's basically my home track. So we were originally supposed to go to Mid Ohio, which would have been 45 minutes for me. So Michigan's my home track, and I really enjoy coming here and trying to finish well. And tonight was just like overall team. I mean, everybody inside the top 10 tonight. That almost makes me more excited than getting the victory.
So this is one of those tracks that it's not quite a super speedway, but it's still 2 miles. It's fast. You could full throttle it if you really wanted to early in the run. But as the day wears on, there's no way you can pull that off.
Oh no, and to be honest with you, we weren't able to even do that at the beginning of the race or beginning of a run. The car was just too free, especially on exit. As you went deeper into the run, the entry to the corner got tighter, it just didn't feel like the front end ever had any chance to plant. The setup just didn't allow that. So your car was really wanting to push up, and that caused that snappy exit off effect. And that was pretty much what we fought all night long, and everybody was struggling with that. So it was, it came down to managing your tires. Everybody with that caution happening when it did pretty much got put in the same boat of when to pit. So that kind of took strategy out of it a little bit. Everybody was kind of a tiny bit different sequence, maybe 2 laps, but as you guys probably saw there at the end, once you got so far into the run, everything just everybody was running the same lap time, same pace, and you just had to not make mistakes. That's all it came down to. I tried to back off there the last 10, 15 laps because I saw I was getting a gap, and I said, just don't make any mistakes. You got this in the bag. As long as the caution doesn't come out, just be easy with it and bring it home, and we were able to do it.
So
Definitely had the netcode gods on our side tonight, because there were a few moments that we're lucky that the caution didn't really come out. It let people run side by side, but it was a clean race and still entertaining front to back.
Yeah, and when you look at it, look at everybody who had pace. There's a lot of guys that had the pace, especially on longer runs. Everybody was running about the same lap time, so it's not like there was a bunch of people that were slow. There was a lot of people that actually had pace tonight, and that's just where that the green flag pit stops really string things out. If you had cautions sprinkled in there, I think tonight would have been crazy on restarts. Everybody trying to get the spots that they could, because everybody knows that on the long run it's really hard to pass, so you got to make up what you can at the start.
Well, you referenced that you weren't able to really run full throttle. The track temperature when we started the race was 123 degrees. What were you doing to really try to save the tires to have any kind of pace towards the end?
You had to back up your corner. I had marks on the fence between lights and signage of when I needed to let off the gas, let the car roll, get back into the throttle in order to be able to keep the pace off the corner, keep the wheel straight, because you don't want to be sawing at the wheel. You got to keep it straight under throttle, and just let the car roll off. And that's how you really save those tires. Because like I said, the front end just wanted to push up the track, so you kind of had to manipulate the throttle to get the car to turn. But at the same time, you got to find that fine line, because if you have too much throttle input, then the car just wants to snap around too far, and that's what kills your tire. So you got to back off the corner and just let the car in the middle of the corner do the work for you and get off, and then get your exit speed down the straightaway.
I got you, man. So what were you guys thinking on that long first run there? You had a 3-car breakaway. Like, what was going through you guys? Were you and Cameron really talking there to try to, like, let's not battle this. Let's just kind of push it and kind of run away from the field?
Well, we were, and like I mentioned earlier, between Stroll, Bressie, Cameron, myself, a few other guys up there, that I think everybody had really good pace, and we knew that Stroll, like I look back on the last time that we as Fuel ran at Michigan, and Stroll led the most laps, if I recall. So I knew coming in that he was going to be fast. Bressie's got a lot better on ovals, so he's got pace. So you know that you're going to be battling these guys, and we've done it for 11 weeks now. You know the guys that are going to be up front, and you do want to battle somewhat, but in the case of like Cameron, for instance, he kind of did let Stroll go, because you burning your tires and screwing your race there in the middle of the race, when there's no need to really battle someone at that point. So you just got to kind of take it as it comes, and um, it's just one of them things you got to think about long term rather than short term gain.
Yes, man. You put on a heck of a race, man. I know it's a hard fine line to balance your tires versus keeping speed, and it looked like you did a really great job of tonight, leading the most laps, coming home first here. We congratulate you, man. I know last week you were kind of bummed you didn't get the final spot there, but this week you come back and you're able to capitalize and get a race win, man. So I know you're proud of yourself and your team there that you said, and everybody finishing a top 10. So it's a great night for your team all around.
Yeah, just keeping us within arm's reach of TDR. I think we gained a couple points at least tonight on them. So we're still in this points battle as far as team goes, and that's important to us. And just give a shout out to all my guys again: Danny, Eric, Randy, and Cameron especially. Cameron was racing on one arm tonight. He had minor surgery, and he was racing the hell out of that thing on one arm. So the pace that he had tonight, imagine if he had both arms. It's crazy that he had that much pace, and for him to last the entire race under green and just lap after lap do what he did with a bum arm is impressive. So kudos to him and everybody on the team tonight for everybody getting in the top 10.
You would never guess that was the case.
Yeah, that just shows that dude's really talented, and that's a reason why he's up front every week. He has that speed, and tonight showed it.
I got you, man. Well, congratulations on your win, and on to next week, man.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Have a good one. Alrighty, let's pull in our second place, Thomas Bressie. Hey, Thomas, this is Adam and Josh. You got a copy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, man. Hey, congratulations coming home second. It was a hard-fought battle for you to get there. It didn't seem like it there. You started making some really great ground up at the end of the first long tire run there, catching the front pack out of nowhere. How were you able to save your tires so well to be able to run them down? I think you capitalized on about a 3 to 4 second gap there.
Yeah, I think honestly, I was just I'm so used to burning my tires off. I'm usually really bad at it. So when we just kind of getting the feel for how you could run hard in practice, I was like, if I do this in the race, I know I'm gonna just kill myself. So just don't. And I was like, they stretch away a little bit at the beginning. It's fine. I'm just gonna take care of my stuff. If it works out, cool. Then whatever. And fortunately, it seemed to kind of work out. And I saw Michael and Blake were kind of racing each other there for fourth, and then I was like, I'm just gonna sit here and let them figure it out, and hope maybe they come back to me later. And Stroll took off, and then it took me like 2-3 laps or whatever to get around Blake. And then once I got by him, he disappeared. I don't know what happened to him, but yeah, and it was just trying to not make mistakes, and at the same time just don't overdo it. I was like, just hit your marks and be chill. And it was just taking inches out of it. It felt like that whole first run. And then there was a point I was catching Alan, and then towards the end, like the last 8 or so laps of that run, he started to pull away again, and we were just back to kind of matching pace, it looked like. And Stroll, I think, finally burned his stuff off, and he and Cameron were kind of backing up. So I think in hindsight, maybe I should have stayed out a little bit longer because I had the long run pace, and maybe just pitted when when Alan and Cameron did, and just tried to pace myself again and run them down later. But is what it is. Hey, at least let a couple laps there in in the middle of the cycle. That I'll take a couple points there, or a point, I guess. But yeah, I was trying to save a little bit. Once we got out back after the pit cycle, and I knew some of those guys were going to be pushing hard, just like especially Stroll because he slipped through his box and stuff. It was like, well, if I just pace myself, maybe it'll work out. And I mean, it did. I got 2 spots from it, and I didn't have anything really to fight with when Alan got there. I just didn't have a great run through 1 and 2 anyways. And I mean, I knew I wasn't going to have everything obviously to fight with, but I had a little less than what I was hoping. So that didn't help it at all. So it was pretty much over and done with immediately. So, but yeah, can't be too upset. I'm not honestly a huge fan of Michigan. I just kind of show up and be like, all right, well, let's see what happens here. So, but it worked out. So can't be too upset.
No, it was one of those great runs that you didn't really have any kind of drama really on track. You just picked your time to pass people, didn't have to spend too long setting them up. And just once you were around, it was tear away and make your way up to the next person.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I feel like now, granted, I can't speak for it that much because fortunately, I didn't really have to do too much setting up. But in the past, I know when we've been here, it tends to be pretty tricky. I mean, you kind of saw those front 3, 4, whatever at the beginning of the race, and they were just kind of nose to tail, and it was kind of tricky to look like make a move unless you kind of got somebody loose or whatever. Just because with how this place is, you're kind of just running that real wide arc and just trying to carry as much momentum as you can. So you do have to think about it because I think some of my teammates and stuff were talking about it too. Like if you tried to pass one guy and you couldn't get it done, you were gonna get freight trained at the same time. So just with the draft and everything down the straightaway from the other guys. So yeah, I mean it wasn't too bad, and that was the same thing. It was like I was trying to pick my time to make moves and stuff, and I felt like yeah, it took me a little bit to get by Blake, but I saw we were starting to lose the leaders a little bit. I was like, all right, I gotta kind of get this done with here and see if I can stay with them at all. So fortunately, I didn't have too many issues with that. But yeah, it's always tricky, with these cars and at this place, just the way the races kind of pan out.
I got you, man. Well, I mean, you were able to keep pace all night long. Hindsight's 2020, staying out 2 or 3 laps more, maybe 4, to really run the tank dry. Basically, might have played in your favor, might not have. Second place is still nothing to gawk at in this league. I mean, there's people out there fighting tooth and nail back there for 21st, 22nd, having great pace. So being up there in front, I mean, it's a great accomplishment here. I know everybody's still wanting to win, but it's a great points night for you to be able to carry on to the playoffs here. And we appreciate you coming out and doing putting on a heck of a show for us.
Yeah, of course. Looking forward to Martinsville next week. Had decent pace there last year. I think finished second or something there as well. So see if maybe we can't do one spot better there come next week. But looking forward to it.
Gotcha, man. Well, we hope you have a good night, man.
Thanks. Appreciate it, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you, man.
Thanks.
Alrighty, let's bring up our number 3, Michael Stroll. Hey, Michael, this is Adam and Josh. You got a copy?
Yeah, I'm here, guys. What's going on?
Hey, man, you come home third. You were up there all night long. What could you have done differently to leapfrog 1, maybe 2 positions?
Not slide through my pit box on the green flag stop. I think that definitely cost me like 3 seconds. I lost by 2, so that was the real difference maker. I had my brake bias really low, and getting into my box, it just wouldn't stop.
Yeah, you had the pace early. I was a little worried for you with the early race, you and Blake Gordon fighting as much as you did, but honestly, it didn't seem to hurt you as much as I would have anticipated with your tires.
Yeah, I mean, I think Blake was a little aggressive there. Michigan, I mean, throughout practice, the tire wear was really aggressive. We were down in the 30s and 40s. I was anyway. Some of my guys on my team were down even lower than that. I think Will's like 11%. It's kind of crazy, but you really had to. The car allowed you to want to like mat it, like floor it, center off, and for me, I couldn't do that. Or it'd burn up, or if you got below that black seam and kind of ran closer to the whatever color line that is, white or yellow, it really killed the right front. So you just kind of had to really manage it, figure that out.
Yeah, man. I mean, tonight's one of those nights where you got to manage the tires throughout the run and try to figure out, do you want to be more aggressive, drop it down to that bottom seam to really get a great arc into it to try to take away a 10th or 2 away from your opponent, or do you run that middle to high line to kind of keep pace and hopefully not burn up your tires? So it's kind of those fine lines of trying to figure out. Well, like you were able to kind of manage it throughout the whole entire run. You kept you up there all night long, and it looks like it was a great race for you.
Yeah, it was good points night. I'm just glad I didn't finish second again. It seems like that's what I'd like to do a lot. But come home third, talk to you guys. One race till the finals, which I think is Martinsville, and then we got 4 races into the finals. So I think I'm pretty much locked in, and just let's go for broke next week.
Now, going into Martinsville, having the points in your back pocket is always going to be good because Martinsville, we're going to be looking at close to 30 drivers on a half a mile. Things could get a little interesting, so the recent string of good finishes should help you going into the finals.
Yeah, I just hope we don't have another repeat of like USA. The last time we ran Martinsville in this league, we ran green pretty long. So I'm confident in the guys we have here. We can do that again. Tire strategy and pit strategy and all that stuff. Depending how the cautions fall is really going to determine who wins the race, because it isn't always about raw speed on our short tracks. But I look forward to probably Cameron and Alan, myself and Bressie and Blake will probably be up there in the top 5 again.
I got you, man. Well, we appreciate you coming out and put on a great show for us, and the rest of the league here at Fuel. They all put on a great race. We saw action all throughout the night. And we appreciate you guys coming out and making our night interesting. And the viewers out there, they love to see all the action that's out there. So we appreciate you coming out and put on a strong performance for us.
Yep, thanks.
You have a good night.
You too, man. Later.
Alrighty, well, that will do it for tonight here at Michigan. We'll be back later this week on Wednesday night here with the AOLL. But before we do, tomorrow night we'll have the voices of Nick Adams and Randy Pepper calling the IVRL race from Texas Motor Speedway. It is our first race in the round of 8 there, so when everybody's going to be fighting to try and lock in their spot into the final 4. So come out and watch that on Wednesday night. Will be our first race in the round of I think we have 12 in that one for the sportsmen. They'll be back here at Michigan. So come out and watch that one. Thursday night, TNT. They are going to it just slipped my brain. Where are we going to be at on Thursday?
Of course, it's also me drawing a blank there.
Thursday night will be Auto Club. I knew it was another big track. So Thursday night Auto Club. So this week we got some monster tracks. Last week it was or not last week, the week before that was Dago week, Super Speedway week. So this week we got the 1.5 mile, 2 mile track weeks. So it's going to be a blast to see ARCA cars at Auto Club. Auto Club puts on a heck of a show with the ARCA cars. They're going to be able to draft. It's going to be like kind of a semi-redemption of Talladega we saw a couple weeks ago. And just with a little bit more of slicing and dicing.
It's going to be a fun one. I will say that Auto Club does not... It will be an entertaining race, but the ARCA cars and Auto Club, the ARCA cars are a little bit loose at Auto Club. So we're really definitely going to have to watch throttle control coming out of the turns, but it's fast, and I absolutely love that track.
Yep. And then Friday night, come out and listen to our podcast, watch our podcast, come out, comment, see who do we bring on this week. Maybe your favorite driver that you're out there listening to or watching might be on this Friday. So come out and watch, comment, let us know who do you want to see on the podcast Friday night. And then this Sunday, you'll hear the voices of Josh Last and Carl Henderson. They'll be out there taking us through Michigan. Texas. I was hoping it was Michigan. That's what it was. I'd rather race Michigan than Texas. But it'll be our first round of the round of 12 as well. Come out and see, or a round of 8, or they're at round of 8 there, and see who can see if anybody in the AOL top 8 can punch their way into the final 4. So, with that being said, I am Adam Wood. That is Josh Last, and we appreciate you coming out tonight. And we wish you to we hope you have a really great night. See you later this week.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.